Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today, preparations are underway for the centennial celebration at St. Brendan Church, and I make a beef bulgogi bowl. It's Korean inspired, but first we revisit Home Brewers Day. It's coming up May 6th.
Well, we all know that the first Saturday in May is Kentucky Derby Day, but it is also International Home Brewers Day. And the local home brewers get together the first Saturday of May out here at Farmer Casey's Ranch, owned by Purple Cat. And there are, as you can see, a ton of people here. They are brewing right now on premises and then sharing beers that they've made before. All the proceeds from this great home brewer event goes to the Purple Cat. There's music, there's items up for auction, and then you get the camaraderie and you learn some different brewing techniques. So we're gonna have a really good time today. Sean and Bill are home brewers, but they are about to open their own brewery up in Grove City. It'll be Big Rail Brewery. Now, where did the name come from?
I currently work for a local railroad.
And Sean, how long have you two been brewing together?
Oh, about 15 years, maybe more, somewhere in that ballpark.
And what made you decide to take the lead?
I guess it just kind of grew over time. We would eventually, we would do bigger and bigger batches, and then eventually we got to the opportunity to brew for a restaurant in Harmony, PA, the Harmony Inn. So we brewed house beers.
What are you and Christopher brewing here?
We are brewing a very special beer that we've been inspired by our little friend. There's a little friend over here. We have a black duck laying eggs as we sitting on eggs.
Sitting on the eggs and waiting to hatch them.
Yeah.
And she has like a lot of eggs under there. They said there's like 10 or 15.
There's at least a dozen. It's amazing. And if I were as chilled out as that duck, my stress levels aren't low enough. I got to be like the duck.
So the title of the beer that you're brewing here is?
We're going to call this Black Duck Brut IPA. It's going to be a real dry IPA with some very interesting hops, and we're going to use champagne yeast, which is going to dry it up a little bit, and it'll ferment out the sugar, so it'll be dry. It won't be sweet, but it'll be very floral and hoppy.
John O'Donnell is a very experienced brewer. You said almost 20 years.
19 years, April this year.
What made you start home brewing?
I like craft beer, but the price, it's cheaper to brew it yourself.
And I mean, how many, mistakes did you learn from?
Several. Several. You always got to make a mistake, but like you said, you learn and you move on.
You guys are the ones who really make the craft fine beers. And we'll call them what? Red House? But it's
Red House Loveless Lager.
Okay, this is Donnie Loveless, and then we have Cole. And how long have you guys been home brewers?
I just had my 40th anniversary of brewing beer. And Donnie, I taught, and he's been here 2 years doing it.
I'm learning from the apprentice. I am apprentice learning from the master.
Ron and John are also home brewers. How long have you two been brewing together?
About a year and a half.
What made you start doing it, Ron?
I started drinking the stouts and the porters. I liked them, and the cost. I just started wanting to brew my own beers and trying it.
And how was your very first brew experience? Was it successful, or was there an issue?
No, it was successful. It was a coffee stout, and it turned out good.
You are very familiar with Farmer Casey's Ranch. This has really grown, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me the difference from the beginning to now.
All right, a long time ago, this had little chickens and ducks and stuff. Now, look at it now. It is crowded with pigs, everything in there.
They got the peacocks, the alpacas.
Yeah.
I've got Lonnie and Eric, who are both very well-known DJs from Golden String Radio. Now, Lonnie, when you're spinning, what is your favorite kind of music?
I play gospel music every Saturday morning on Golden String Radio.
Okay, so you got to listen for Lonnie. Now, Eric, what do you like to play when you're spinning?
Well, I love country music, and I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee with my father, and everything's cool.
You are going to Nashville?
Yep.
No way. You're going to go to the Country Music Hall of Fame?
Yes, I am.
You help everybody when they have trouble with their brewing, right?
Try to, yeah, absolutely. Anytime they have problems, or hopefully they don't have many problems, but I will guide them along.
Yes. So, Guru, how many years have we been having this event for our area home brewers?
It started out in 1999, really small, over in Brookfield, when we had a shop there, with about 10 brewers, maybe at the most, that attended the whole thing. And now it's grown into this.
Well, Jimmy Sutman, you know my buddy, Isle, Purple Cat, and you guys are the beneficiary of the proceeds from this great event.
Yes, we are the beneficiaries. And every year it grows.
Crazy.
We hit our zenith a couple years ago. It was almost snowing out here, and everyone was like, oh gosh, it's going to be a terrible event. And it was our biggest ever. People were dying to get out here. The beer brings people despite the weather.
So now, the guys that are brewing on site, they give you the spent grains for the animals.
Yeah, it's super cool. We have pigs here, so the spent grains, the pigs will eat the spent grains. Our goats and our alpacas, they're a little more picky. But our composting program is something to be proud of. The spent grains are so valuable because they're steaming. I mean, they're steaming now. They just made beer, but they'll be steaming next Wednesday. And what that helps is it breaks down the compost.
Are you really drinking a PBR?
I'm a cheap date. I'm a PBR drinker, but everything is a step up from PBR. So all of this stuff is wonderful, and I will drink it.
When I want local flavor, I watch the Casey Malone Show.
Kamara Jewelers is the place to buy an engagement ring because we want a relationship with you that lasts a lifetime. Your commitment with her is the same commitment we have to you.
We want to sit down with you and teach you about diamonds, so you're educated on what you're buying. We have the largest selection we ever have, which is the largest in the area, and at the best value. And if it's not something in our case, we could always custom make it. We can make any dream come true.
Get real, get Kamara.
Woolley Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old World Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans.
At Woolley Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available. Given is living.
Join the Isle and Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available at $13 an hour. Given is living.
I'm all about local, and my bank is Farmers National Bank. Farmers is the true hometown bank in the Mahoning Valley, standing strong for our local families and businesses since 1887. Farmers is also future-focused with a lab branch, interactive teller machines, and best-in-class mobile mortgage app. We've all learned the value of local relationships, businesses, and communities. Switch to Farmers. I am here with Rude the Dude from the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. Eating, drinking, celebrating, that's what you're all about.
Yes, we got a lot of great things on our menu. We got some great weekly specials, great chef specials, great happy hour, Chef Tank's back. So we're just doing our thing here at Magic Tree.
And if you're partying, don't forget about that banquet room. It seats up to 150. So whatever you're celebrating, Magic Tree Pub and Eatery is here for you.
Don't miss Angels for Animals Gigantic Garage Sale, April 21st through the 23rd at the fairgrounds.
You better come on in my kitchen.
Today I'm going to prepare something a little different. It is a beef bulgogi rice bowl. And it's got a lot of Korean flavors in it. And bowls are kind of popular. There's grain bowls, there's noodle bowls, and I'm going to use rice as the base. And then a lot of these wonderful flavorings like ginger and garlic and soy and sesame oil. And that really adds flavor to the beef. Now, traditionally, you use a piece of beef and slice it thinly, but this is so easy and so quickly prepared. I'm just gonna use ground beef, and then you have your choice of thinly sliced vegetables to put on top. I mean, this really comes together quickly. So let's go over the ingredients, and we are going to make a bulgogi rice bowl. For this recipe, the sauce will need 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of sesame oil, 3 inches of ginger root peeled and chopped, and 5 cloves of garlic chopped. You'll also need 1½ cups of long grain rice rinsed with water, 1 pound of ground beef or ground chicken or turkey, 5 radishes thinly sliced, 5 green onions chopped fine, white and green parts separate, 2 carrots thinly sliced, and 1/2 English cucumber thinly sliced. I have 3 cups of salted water on the stove, and I added the rinsed long grain rice to it, so we'll get the rice going while we prepare the sauce. And I got this handy dandy blender type thing from my sister, so I'm gonna give it a try. And we just add all of these ingredients right into the bowl. Now you could also use your blender, you could use a food processor, but you really wanna get this into like a smooth paste-like sauce. I chop my garlic and I chop the ginger because I think it really helps when you go to blend this. It doesn't take as much effort. So that's it. Now look at this thing. It's pretty cool. So you go like this. Let's see how it goes. And then you just hit it. And you just want everything to be smooth. And what I really like about it is that it's already in a pitcher. So I can just pour that in when I need it. Look at that, smooth and nice. So now we'll go over to the stove and start cooking the beef. Well, I'm heating up the skillet over medium high, and I can see that the rice is coming to a boil, so I'm gonna throw the lid on that, and I am gonna put it on simmer. So now, this pan should be pretty hot. Listen to that little sizzle. We'll put that over here. And now all I'm gonna do is break this up into crumbles and get it nice and brown and get rid of all the pink. Now I'm using an 80%, 20% fat ground chuck. I think the leaner the meat, the better for this dish, because I really don't want to have to drain out a lot of fat. And whenever I've made this, I really didn't have much fat at all. So this is nice, brown, crumbly. Now I'm going to add the white part of the onions and just mix this in. And you notice I really don't have any seasoning yet. I'm not putting any salt or pepper in here because with the soy sauce, the ginger, the garlic, I mean, there's so many flavors that is in this sauce. You really don't need any additional spices. So now, it's time. We'll add this. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And it smells so good. A little bit of... So now, let's lower the heat on this. And what we want this to do is simmer. And while it simmers, it'll thicken up a little bit and it'll be perfect when we go to eat. So let's let this simmer for a good 10 or 15 minutes and it'll be done. So you have not tried this yet.
No.
This is my beef bulgogi rice bowl. Now see, look at all these thinly sliced. Now you go ahead and put your own toppings on. We have the onion, you know, the
everything that I like.
Cucumbers, everything you like. So you just keep adding that to your dish, and then it adds like a fresh, crunchy flavor, and then it all melds together with the beef and stuff. And you can do thinly sliced cabbage. I mean, there's a lot of things. Whatever you like, you can use.
Yeah.
So
whatever you have in the refrigerator.
The possibilities are endless. And then if you want a little more heat, I have the sriracha out. If you want a little more soy, I've got the Kikkoman low sodium. And I have a nice Chardonnay to enjoy with our bowl. This is the Chateau Sauron from California. Cheers.
Cheers.
Goes
Here's to
nicely
spring.
with this. Let's hear it.
Oh, it is good.
So, taste your bowl and let me know what you think. I really, really like this dish. I think it is really good.
It is good. Can I have some soy sauce? No, I'm going to try it.
You don't want any more heat, right?
No.
So make sure you keep some soy on the table. This is really easy. You saw how quickly it came together. And the ingredients are readily available. So for this recipe, go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. Cheers.
So good.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Righetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
It's happening now. Construction is underway at Gabacam, a year-round destination for adults with disabilities and their families to get away, close to home, accessible to all, with no barriers. Donate now to Gabacam. Giving is living.
I am here with Rude the Dude from the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery. Eating, drinking, celebrating. That's what you're all about.
Yes, we got a lot of great things on our menu. We got some great weekly specials, great chef specials, great happy hour. Chef Tank's back. So we're just doing our thing here at Magic Tree.
And if you're partying, don't forget about that banquet room. It seats up to 150. So whatever you're celebrating, Magic Tree Pub and Eatery is here for you.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
Don't miss Angels for Animals gigantic garage sale April 21st through the 23rd at the fairgrounds.
Well, I am here with Rosie Marriage, and we're in the back of St. Brendan's Church. And there is a year-long celebration going on because St. Brendan's is celebrating its 100th year right here on Oakwood Avenue, Youngstown's West Side. And, you know, this church has always been special to me. You know, my father, this was his parish. My grandparents were back in 1923, one of the original members. And you've been here for quite a while.
Yes, I have. It's amazing how many people have gone to school here, how many people have gone to church here, the baptisms, the weddings, the funerals. They're just countless, too many to count, actually.
And you had a big celebration last year.
Yes, I did.
Your
My son was ordained a Dominican priest, and we had a massive Thanksgiving here at St. Brendan and a very nice social afterwards.
I mean, that is just, you know, this church just has so much history. When you were going into getting ready for this celebration, were you able to find a lot of stuff in the archives and a lot of the history here?
Well, about a year ago, we started asking our parishioners to start looking through some of their personal effects at home. Pictures, books, videos, whatever they could find, and give them to us, you know, and we put them in our museum, which you will be going to very shortly. And so the parishioners have been very nice about giving us their personal effects to celebrate this 100th anniversary.
I mean, there is long time parishioners here. I'm sure they go back 50, 60, 70 years.
Oh, we're amazed at some of the things we have collected from the parishioners. They have been so generous, and it's just enlightened us so much about the history of St. Brendan that we didn't even know that they were able to help us with.
And then you were telling me, other than your son, there was quite a few priests that came out of this grade school.
Yes, we have 7 sons of the parish that have become priests. A few are still with us, Father Bropes, Father Kenny Miller, Father Kevin Peters. Those are all sons of the parish.
And I love the way that, you know, the sons of the parish. And that is really, you know, I think that's a testimonial to the
It
school.
is. It says a lot about the school and the parish and the congregation who supported all these men in their vocations.
Well, because it's a 100-year celebration, and, you know, Rosie was talking about all the artifacts. Deb Flora here, who was on the committee with her to celebrate the 100 years, they have put this together in this really cool museum. And this is all the parishioners and your work finding all these things going back to the very beginning.
Yes, we have some things on loan from parishioners, and we did dive deep into the files here to find some real gems, I think, as far as the history of the parish goes.
I mean, this is the agreement, and it's handwritten, you know, to purchase the land. I mean, this school was ready to go, 1923.
Yes, that was the founding year, and that's why this year is so significant to us. Some of the main things that led to the creation of St. Brendan started in 1923. You know, there are some other major companies having centennials this year also. Warner Brothers Entertainment. Disney is also celebrating its centennial this year.
Really?
We don't have that international name or reputation, but this demonstrates that we've been an anchor on the west side of Youngstown for 100 years, that people came here, they found hope, they found help. Their families were multi-generational passing through this parish. Yours is an example
Exactly.
of that.
And you know, you were the original first one on the west side, and then I know that you gave aid to St. Christine to get us started. St. James, you all helped out these parishes to keep going out.
So we've identified as the anchor of the west side for a long time now.
Yes.
And it's really inspired out of the story of St. Brendan. So Irish legend says not only did he establish Catholic communities in his native Ireland, he branched out to Europe, and that he even made a voyage across the Atlantic, and at least 900 years ahead of Christopher Columbus was looking at, if not touching, North America. So that's where we get the whole anchor thing. And he's also the patron saint of sailors and travelers.
Yes, yes.
This is every grade in 1948, in the fall of 1948. Look at all those kids that were here, right? And that wasn't even the peak. The peak was in the 50s.
In the 50s.
Yeah.
And that would have been, I guess, really when the baby boomers really
From what I
ramped
can
it up.
tell, there was only one classroom for each of these.
Father Agostino has been the priest here at St. Brendan's for the last few years. And you are here at a really special time to celebrate, you know, 100 years.
Exactly.
And you got a brand new chalice, huh?
A chalice.
This hasn't been blessed, so I can touch it.
And a paten with the Irish symbols, the Celtic symbols. And the bottom of the chalice is engraved St. Brendan's 1923 to 2023.
Oh, that is really beautiful.
And we'll use that this Sunday for the first time at our kickoff celebration.
And then will this be used exclusively afterwards?
Yes, for Sunday liturgy.
Wow. So this is a really old crucifix. And
It
it
is.
started here.
It started here in St. Brendan's. I, again, don't know exactly where, but it was described as hanging between 2 pillars. And then when they remodeled the church, a parishioner from St. Christine's happened to be here and asked for it because they were going to discard it. And so they took it to St. Christine's and hung it over their altar.
Yes.
And then this year, St. Christine's got a new
We got a paint
crucifix.
job and everything.
Exactly.
We did.
Which I believe came from one of the other churches that just closed.
Okay.
And I asked for this crucifix back. So the next day, Father Jarek said, when are you going to pick it up? And
It really, really looks beautiful there.
You'll never be able to replace those original pieces. In fact, these angels, which came from an antique shop, these are all old.
Well, I was thinking these could have been original. I mean, they're
Right.
very nice.
It's just, again, part of it's personal. I like to collect religious articles and use them tastefully in a worship space.
I think you bring a real, a nice humor to, your calling. I think, you gave a great sermon, and I think, we need a little injection of humor at these times.
I agree. I think Mass should be celebratory. Yes, I don't need to be on the comedy hour. But that's my Irish.
Yes.
That's my Irish. That's where I get it from.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.